I just bought from the shop, and then I just need to open it.
It's the food of the future, but acclaimed Cantonese chef Eddie Leung is using it to create one of Chinese cuisine's most traditional dishes. Fish maw soup is usually made with dried fish bladders. They're expensive and take up to 2 days of soaking and braising before being ready to cook. Instead of that, Eddie is using a state-of-the-art new product made from carefully cultivated cells extracted from healthy fish, then grown in a controlled environment.
So this one actually look like exactly the same one, same as the traditional one, and no fishy taste, and just ready to cook. I just seasoning, salt and pepper, and then with the sauce. Very convenient.
The cultivated fish maw soaks up the flavour of the soup without falling apart in the process.
Wow, looks so yummy. 3 minutes, I can prepare the dish.
That's not the only thing on the menu. The texture and shape of the cultivated fish can be adapted to suit the needs of any cuisine.
So the fillet, we cook it until golden brown.
This time, Eddie is using a cultivated fish fillet to represent a traditional fish in the classic French dish sole meunière.
And then the meunière sauce. Wow, looks lovely. Enjoy!
The cultivated fish portions can be made to measure and reproduced in standardized sizes, making life easier for chefs preparing big dinner parties. That's exactly what Eddie is doing. He's working with the creators of the cultivated fish to help them perfect their formula and showcase their products to the market.
We listen to a lot of suggestions from the chef, our advisor, and also from the consumer, from our taster. We are able to really tweak the formula, not only the ingredient, but also the way we make the food products and also the sequence we add in our ingredients. All this can be tweaked, and then in order to generate the desired texture, desired taste, and also the desired nutrition value that we want to get into the food.
This tasting session is one of many that Dr. Mario and his team have organised in a bid to share their vision for improving the way we consume food and share insights into how a scientific approach can provide a healthy and sustainable solution.
With his explanation in front of me, I grow more knowledge and confidence. I can know more details on how it's produced. So definitely I'll get more confidence in it, yeah. We have to be open-minded and just learn about the new technologies and the possibilities, because that's the future, that's the real future we have to face.
With social awareness increasing over healthy eating and sustainable sourcing, public interest is growing in new food technologies. These are the only cultivated fish products of their kind in Asia, and that's why they're attracting a lot of local media attention. The global market for alternative fish and meat products is booming, and the biggest market for potential growth is in Avant Meat's backyard. It's been another busy morning of trade here at Hong Kong's biggest fishing port, and that's a symbol for the huge demand that exists in this part of the world for fish and seafood produce. The United Nations estimates that Asia accounts for more than 60% of global consumption. China is topping the tables. Its annual consumption of fish and seafood is double the average for the rest of the world, and its consumption is expected to accelerate faster than any other country in the next decade. If that continues, there's growing concern that global fish stocks will not be able to support the demand, and current fish farming practices are generating greenhouse gas and environmental pollutants as climate change further threatens production. The team at Avant Meats hopes that its innovative technologies can provide a more positive alternative vision of our future relationship with our oceans.
The challenge of sustaining the environment and meeting food security and safety has been taken up by Avant Meats. Avant is the first cultivated meat company in Asia, developing fish meat and seafood tailored to consumers across China, Singapore, and beyond. Thanks to Avant's technology, we will be able to have fish meat without killing fish. Avant's cultivated fish products are also nutritious, GMO-free, and pollutant-free. Similar to growing muscles inside animal body, the key part of the process is to grow the number of fish cells to make the product. The more cells there are, the more fish meat one can prepare.
Just like how yogurt production starts off with a starter culture, we begin our cultured meat production with the starter cells. So these starter cells are carefully selected and they are stored frozen inside a liquid nitrogen tank.
When it is time, the cells are thawed in a clean and controlled environment under a biosafety cabinet. After thawing, they are placed with medium in a tissue flask. The flask goes into an incubator to encourage cell growth under a constant elevated temperature, which imitates conditions inside the animal body. As they grow into a larger mass, an Avant technician collects them and moves them to a larger container, such as the cell stack. To enable further expansion to production scale, cells are also collected and moved to a spinner flask inside a biosafety cabinet. The spinner flask is kept at a constant elevated temperature in the incubator for several days, while a magnetic stirrer inside the flask keeps stirring the contents.
This provides an environment that is similar to bioreactor, and it helps us to learn how cells behave inside a bioreactor, and this facilitates our scaling up process.
The scaling up to produce enough mass for the meat production requires much larger equipment and a line of bioreactors of increasing size at the company's world-leading Singapore facility.
The cell growth process will continue in a series of bioreactors from 5 liters, 50 liters, 200, 2000 and beyond, and this will happen in our new GMP facility.
The Singapore facility is an impressive design, focusing on protecting food safety and quality. The whole bioprocess and surroundings are in a stringently controlled environment.
In a clean room environment whereby temperature, air quality, and humidity are controlled. This is to ensure there's no contamination and that food safety and quality are ensured.
Samples are regularly taken at every step of the process to check, validate, and document against standards. The final laboratory product will be checked again before moving on to the next step. Basically, with this technology, one cannot run the process if there is any contamination or non-complying materials in the facility.
For conventional meat production, there is a risk of animals falling sick from bacteria and viruses. And also for fish in particular, there's also ocean pollution such as microplastics. In our way of doing meat production, all this will not happen because everything is controlled.
Independent parties such as the Singapore Food Agency and US Food and Drug Administration will also be involved, vetting the manufacturing method and process to ensure products are safe for consumption. Avant's approach is different. For a start, all cells are non-GMO. No fetal bovine serum is used in the manufacturing process. FBS is sourced from calf and is conventionally used for growing cells, and without it, Avant has reduced the cost significantly, while making the process more environmentally sustainable. Avant is approaching cost reduction using multi-pronged patent-pending solutions. Firstly, it is the molecular approach that reduces the cost of expensive medium. Secondly, it is the proprietary method that reduces the use of medium.
The main thing is to make the use of raw materials more efficient. And we also have collaborations with institutes such as A-Star Singapore to optimize our process further.
The team at Avant has a shared vision for improving the way we produce food, a scientific approach providing a healthy, sustainable solution to meet the need of an increasing supply.
Imagine, this process can take place anywhere, anytime. We will not need to rely on animal farming or fish catching for our food. This more efficient process produces proteins in a shorter period, using less of our natural valuable resources. And it can also help with the global challenge of increasing food population and food demand.